And I'm from 600. Stop asking me about other blocks. I don't give a fuck about nothing. But nobody on the floor.
There's been some strange stuff going on with the OTF crew lately. It appears that Memo 600 might not be so welcome anymore. In fact, some say Memo's days with the OTF have been numbered ever since the get-go. Him being kicked out of OTF was just a matter of time, nothing more. And Durk had a lot to say on the matter. How did it all start though? That's what we're here to find out. What we can say for now is that Memo 600 did a lot of goofy shit to put himself in the position he's in right now. Starting beefs with his day ones, going on internet and calling people out, you name it. However, many people believed it all started with Durk and Memo going at it. Now, everyone know about the long-time beef that took place ages ago between Durk and 600. Rumor has it that Durk didn't appreciate what the 600 gang was doing for him. Seemed like they weren't holding up to his end of the bargain. The beef was squashed between Durk and 600 boys, but it never really went back to how it was before. As y'all know quite well, Memo was on 600 back then. Even though nobody talked about it openly, not Durk, not Memo, everyone knew there was been some trouble cooking back then between the two. Nobody knows why for sure, but it was pretty obvious that something went wrong. Then Book had started messing with Durk's label OTF, and since OTF started popping off, especially with King Von's major success, plenty of 600 guys started shaking their heads. A little after that, Von and Memo 600 did the Exposing Me track and made a lot of noise. Whether or not Durk wanted Memo 600 to start rolling with his boys, we can't say for sure, but he did. Soon after that, Memo was OTF, and that's when things started to get messy. But there's two more things worth mentioning about Memo before we move on. One, he ain't done rap regularly, and it wasn't his calling right off the bat. He did rap as a hobby first. Only later, when he got some feedback on his rapping, he decided to commit himself to it further. On one occasion, he talks about it in more detail. Here's a part of the interview conversation. He said, "I used to do a lot of crazy stuff. Ride around, go live on Instagram, tweak. They told me, man, stop taking that bad energy and put something to good, make music, make money out of it. I tried a song, everybody starts saying, you got a good voice for it. I took it and ran with it." Second, the person who signed Memo to OTF wasn't Durk, but his older brother, OTF D-Thang. He was the one responsible for recognizing Memo's potential, his style, and his flow. Many people would agree that Memo 600 would have been better off if he decided to stay independent, or perhaps if he started his own record label. Why so? Memo wanted the spotlight, just like every other rapper getting a piece of fame and fortune would want it. After he felt a bit of that good, he didn't want to go back, and you can't control an artist who wants more. Fans would agree with this one. Plenty of people saw a missed opportunity there for Memo. Memo 600 originally was the first to do Exposing Me in Chicago, then he did the remix with King Von. He should have stayed independent and kept the 600 name alive. Durk kept Memo on the back burner at all times when he signed for OTF. Even if Durk never said anything about not liking Memo, he don't have to say it in order for the obvious to come out. Just take a lot of his actions. He's never pushed Memo's music like he did for other rappers, and yes, let's be specific and use King Von as an example, he certainly didn't feel responsible for him since it was his brother who brought Memo to the table and not him.
I think he started standing out because he started saying shit against Durk because he felt like Durk ain't promote him the same way he promoted Von, you know. He felt like he was hotter than Von when Von first started off, you know, and then Von got hotter too, if you ask me. He felt like the same way Durk took Von to them platforms, he should have took Memo to them platforms. I done said this in plenty of blogs, whether you look at it like that or not, you know.
Memo felt like he was hotter than Von when Von first started, yet Durk never pushed for Memo like he did for Von. The energy between them was never the same. Even though Memo felt like there was a lot of potential in what he was doing with his music, Durk just ain't been there with that bag. It was obvious that Memo was never gonna blow up with OTF as long as Durk was the one calling the shots. Some would agree on this matter. I think Durk don't want any Chicago rappers hotter than him, but things really started heating up between Durk and Memo after the incident with the chain. A lot of fuss came about with that one. As it usually goes, chains are important for rappers as they represent something more than just jewelry. Having one snatched from you, that's a no-no anywhere you go. Now, Memo 600 wasn't careful enough with this chain, a chain that Durk specifically made for the 600 boys that were rolling with the OTF gang. Where did that chain end up? In the hands of their ops. How the hell did that happen? Well, somebody done messed up big time. We can't confirm for sure, but Memo 600 has been called out for it.
Oh, see, that bitch look decent though.
That bitch look a little nice, don't it, though?
Oh, gee. You thought this bitch look nice on it. I think it's the Nike tech to make it look really decent.
Yeah, I think it's the tech. That's how they know it's that mood. That bitch say Shine. That bitch is from Shine. This is one of them.
You see, in 2019, TTB Nez went on Instagram Live and showed the chain that was supposed to be around Memo 600's neck, not Nez's. He even bragged about it and said he's not going to give Memo his chain back because he can't afford it. Then Nez's homie Drilla hopped on Instagram Live and left a comment that involved Memo. He said, "Somebody explain this and we're going to make your little shit look good. We're going to put a real chain with it." If y'all think Memo just kept quiet about this, you're wrong. He has something to say about this in his defense. He went on social media and posted this.
How much clout y'all want on the fly? Niggas really goofy as hell on stage. Y'all out here goofy as hell. Y'all knowing damn well y'all ain't touch me, took shit from me, none of that on the fly. I don't give no fuck who you is.
There's been all kind of other stories too. Some say Memo linked up with the other ops because he was upset with OTF, and as he was taking a shower, someone snatched the chain from him. Another story says Memo's cousin stole Memo's chain, and then later the chain somehow ended up with Nez. What's interesting is people ain't buying none of that. Most people still believe his chain really did get snatched from him. Many of it comes from what he did as a reaction. Look at this. If you gotta go on the internet and explain what happened, I'm not believing it. What's crazy, it's as simple as showing you still got the chain that's allegedly took. Another comment wrote this: "They most definitely took Yoche." Durk took this matter personally, and he found it insulting. He talked to his brother about Memo being signed off on OTF, and in one of his lyrics, he even states his opinion on what took place with Memo and his chain. In his feature on French Montana's Stuck in the Jungle, in the end of his verse, Lil Durk rhymes, "You said they stole your chain, you lied, they took it, Amaris with the Dior mics." It was kind of obvious who Durk had in mind with the line. After this, we moved from Durk and the fact that his rap career only stagnated during this time with OTF. Memo started getting loud about what he thought about the whole situation. Soon after what took place, he started ranting out loud on Twitter and dissing a lot of folks. They won't let the world see how hot you is. They put dirt on your name and some mo shit. Empire told me somebody from the label told them I'm done. I'm going to jail and some more shit. Like, what the type shit is that? Nah, somebody got some explaining to do. From this tweet, it was kinda obvious that Memo was looking to connect with another record label called Empire, but Memo thought that someone from OTF was trying to stop him in his efforts. Now, why would someone do something like this to Memo? Well, Memo did have some charges on him. He had legal issues going on, but as you can already guess, Memo had an alibi for that too. On Twitter, he wrote, "First of all, both cases wasn't a weapon in my possession, therefore case dismissed if you know the law." Followed by this tweet. Second, who the fuck told Empire I'm in a lot of shit and blah 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 when motherfuckers be fighting 40 cases? And reports came in 2022 that Memo is about to get signed to Whack 100 label, famous for having Tekashi 6ix9ine on the roster. Someone who we all know beefed a lot with Lil Durk, and till this day has a notorious beef going on with him. If he was gonna sign with Whack, that'd be a slap to Durk and OTF's face. But Whack ended up not signing Memo, and as it turns out, it was Chief Keef who told him not to do it. That's when Memo started catching beef with a couple of people, and Keef was just one of them. Who were the others? Baby, for starters, was on that list. Upon his release of the single with the NBA YoungBoy called Better Than You, Memo hopped on Twitter and said, "Can't blame the baby. He thought that man was gonna save his career." Soon after that, the baby screenshotted the tweet and left a reply not only for Memo, but for the whole OTF crew, since Memo is still associated with them. He posted, "Y'all on the internet playing, trying to run your stripes up white. Y'all big dog in my DM waving the white flag." After that went down, Memo claimed he ain't afraid of nobody, and that the whole internet beef ain't gonna intimidate him, not a single bit. All he had to say was this: "I watch all the killers turn internet so they don't say shit to me on Steve. I'll treat any What's funny is the amount of people who spoke out on Memo 600 being the fake one and started beefing on the internet first. Everyone says that he was the one who's always starting stuff, even though he ain't about that life. He's got a lot of ops talking stuff about him, and plenty of them openly threaten Memo. Just take a look at what THF Crack had to say to Memo.
"You around niggas acting like you crazy, you ain't even like that. On Folsom Gray, you ain't like that. You ain't like that, you a bitch in real life. I'm beating your ass, nigga, can't nobody stop it. I don't want to, can't nobody tell me shit, I'm on his ass. Fuck you talking about? I'm treating his ass like he a op now."
Then THF Bezu stated his thoughts on Memo 600 going on the internet and acting like a stepper. He said this:
You wanna play on this internet, nigga? I'm Kyle up in brutalize your ass, nigga. You ain't got no character, nigga. We tired of you faking, nigga.
Memo was in some big trouble, and it all most likely came from his decision to go online and be public about all that he's feeling about not only Durk and OTF, but the rest of the cutthroat industry too.
Beef with Memo and shit? Hell yeah. I've been, like I told you before, I've been left the situation alone because, first of all, the situation should have never really got to the internet like that. You know what I'm saying? It's an old situation. After a couple years, like, I don't know, I'm just that type of nigga. I can't, if it ain't no definite situation or no true harm to the shit, if it's just words and shit like that, that's some shit I could work out.
For Memo's sake, we can hope that he squashes all that beef like he did with Benzo. Otherwise, we might see the rap scene get quite messy in the upcoming period. Any opinions on Memo 600 and his actions? Was it okay for him to lash out on everyone? Let us know what you think about this whole mess in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure to check this next one out. And as always, remember to keep it RIZZLE.